Hello, welcome to Brainstem. Today we'll be discussing classical and operant conditioning. So first, let's talk about classical conditioning. Pavlovian conditioning, aka classical conditioning, was discovered accidentally during the 1890s when Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov was researching salivation in dogs in response to being fed. So you may be wondering, how does one accidentally discover something like classical conditioning? Well, let's talk about how Pavlov did that. So first, let's talk about what happens when we put a bowl of steak or some yummy food in front of a hungry dog. Well, what would we expect that dog to do? Well, we would expect them to be happy because that's some good food that you just put in front of them. So you would expect them to salivate and be all happy that they're about to get this really great food. Now, what would we happen if instead of putting some food in front of them, we made a random sound? We blew a whistle. What would you expect the dogs to do? Well, since there isn't any food attached to that, we would expect them to do nothing at all. It would be just sitting there as if nothing happened. The interesting thing happens when you put both of those two things together at the same time, and you put the bowl of food in front of the dog and blow the whistle at the same time. That way, the dog associates the sound that the whistle makes with the yummy food that the dog sees in front of it. So now every time that the dog hears the whistle, it will salivate in anticipation of getting that yummy food. So let's talk about the type of stimuli that are involved in classical conditioning. So we have the steak, which is what we would call an unconditioned stimulus. Now, what's an unconditioned stimulus? That's something that you would expect the dog to react to without any training at all. Like a natural dog would be happy about steak at any time. The whistle is what we call a conditioned stimulus. The dog would only be happy about the conditioned stimulus if it has associated it with something good like steak in its mind. So it's only good after it's been associated with something that the dog knows is good, like steak, for example. Now, the conditioned response to this whistle then is what we will discuss in the slide here. So there are two types of responses. There's an unconditioned response and then a conditioned response. So the unconditioned response is when you blow the whistle and nothing happens, or when you put the steak in front of the dog and it gets happy. Those are the natural things that you would expect. Now, the conditioned response occurs after you have classically conditioned the dog to be happy about hearing the whistle because it associates the whistle with some good food. So the conditioned response to hearing the whistle sound is salivation. The dog will now salivate whenever it hears a whistle because it has paired that sound in its mind to some really good steak. So now let's talk about operant conditioning. So operant conditioning was created by, or not created rather, but discovered by B.F. Skinner, who was a renowned American psychologist who is often regarded as the founder of operant conditioning. However, the theory's true father is known to be Edward Thorndike, who is also a psychologist in history. Now, operant conditioning is a method of learning that takes place through rewarding a certain behavior or withholding reward for undesirable behaviors. So how did Skinner or Thorndike discover operant conditioning? So this was done through an experiment that was conducted with rats. It was designed to positively reinforce good behavior in the rats and negatively reinforce bad behavior. So every time the rats did something good, they got some really good cheese that they were happy about. They loved that. Whenever they did something bad, they got shocked, which is something that they probably didn't like very much. This way, they were trained to do the good things and avoid the bad things. Now, how are classical conditioning and operant conditioning different from each other? You may think that they are very similar, but they're actually very different and they are appropriate for very different situations. Classical conditioning is used to associate an involuntary response with a stimulus. Operant conditioning, on the other hand, is used to associate voluntary behavior with a consequence, either a positive one or a negative one. The positive consequence will reinforce that behavior, that'll make them do that behavior more and more, and the negative consequence will make them do that behavior less and less. So now let's take a short quiz to see what you learned. So the first question, who is the psychologist associated with classical conditioning? Now I'll give you about 15 seconds to answer this. All right, so hopefully you said answer choice C, Ivan Pavlov. Ivan Pavlov was the one who designed the classical conditioning experiments in dogs that showed that his theory held true, and that's how he discovered classical conditioning. So next question, and this is actually our last question. True or false? Classical conditioning and operant conditioning are used for similar purposes. Okay, hopefully you said false. Classical conditioning is used to associate an involuntary response with a stimulus, while operant conditioning is used to associate voluntary behavior with a consequence. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot about classical and operant conditioning, and I will see you next time.